I returned to my hometown for the first time in years, not because I really wanted to, but because I was tired. Life in the big city had become an endless racework. Obligations, evenings with my wife that had long turned into mere cohabitation rather than true companionship. We had no children, and though we tried, over time the emptiness between us only grew. I was on the train, watching the fields, scattered cottages, and dark stretches of forest passing by. I thought of nothing but taking a break from the noise of the big city. The train jerked to a halt, the doors hissed open, and I was met with a familiar blend of smells: diesel, wet metal, freshly baked bread from a small kiosk by the exit. Walking through the old station, I turned onto the main street where I used to run with friends and noticed a cafe that hadn't been there before. I stepped inside, and my gaze fell upon her. At first, I saw only a silhouette, dark hair pinned back, her profile catching the light from the window. My heart thudded, and my chest felt tight. She lifted her eyes, and our gazes met. I froze, staring at our reflections in the glass. Mine older than I wanted to admit, hers familiar, as if yesterday we had been running to the river together. I ordered an Americano, took a number, put my phone on silent, and only then stepped toward her table. Her eyes said more than any words could. First came a sound, a spoon clinking against porcelain as she unconsciously stirred her coffee. Then a touch. Her fingers brushed the napkin closer to me, and our hands barely touched warm skin on skin, a spark of something old that had never quite burned out. We walked out together. The door chimed softly, and the street welcomed us with a warm breeze. She walked a half step ahead, just like we used to on the way to school, and everything in me listened to her footsteps echoing over the cobblestones. At the bookstore, she stopped, ran her fingers over the glass, and I realized fate hadn't staged a spectacle. It had simply returned two people to the place where their paths were always meant to cross. We began to meet regularly, at first innocently. Walks in the park, coffee on a bench, laughter and childhood memories. But each day, I felt I wanted more. Sometimes our hands brushed by accident, and that small touch awakened something in me that I thought had been lost forever. One evening, we were alone at her place. She brewed tea, turned on soft music, and I sat across from her, watching. She laughed, telling stories from our childhood, and I felt my heart beat faster with every word. Her gaze held me, measuring something invisible but very important. I leaned in, and our lips met. At first, gently, as if afraid to break the fragile moment. Then, stronger, more passionately, but not aggressively, tenderly, like a ray of light in the dark. Her arms wrapped around my neck, my fingers traced her face, shoulders, and back. Every touch felt like a revelation, like awakening a heart long forgotten. We spent the night together, not just physically, but soulfully, with a tenderness I had never experienced with my wife. Every moment was filled with anticipation, excitement, and thrill. I knew this was love that had waited years to finally find its way to us. The next morning, I sat beside her and watched her sleep. My heart ached. My life in the city, my wife, the routine, it all seemed empty now. I knew I could no longer live a lie. The next day, I returned to the city to close old doors. The conversation with my wife was brief. She was silent, only shrugging, and then I felt freedom, heavy, but real. I returned to Maria. She was waiting. We held hands, watching the sunset over our hometown, and I felt, for the first time, truly alive. I had chosen her, chosen myself, chosen love. I knew our life together was only beginning. Every step with her felt like flight, light, trembling, yet strong. We built our world with trust, tenderness, and mutual admiration. The past stayed behind, and now there was only us. In that moment, I realized that true happiness is possible.